Hi class. This lecture will be providing you an example of a prevention program and how to utilize the logical model of evaluation that you learned in the reader in the previous video lecture. Hopefully this example will give you a clearer idea for your own projects for using evaluation. The example we will be using is a prevention program in Las Cruces, New Mexico. Based on the strategic prevention framework that was discussed in Module 4, the first step of prevention planning is assessment. The Las Cruces public school system has a project called Project Link, and this, which is a homeless education program. It was created to meet the physical needs of homeless and poverty-stricken adolescents. This was a community collaboration to improve media literacy, reduce sexual assault and violence within the community. It was developed based on the level of programs in the school and community programs addressing community-wide needs. In order to move the community forward and accept a new program, they developed a community-wide coalition, which is school, businesses, community, parents, and youth, in order to help grow through the 7 steps of the prevention planning process. So let's look at the risk factors and protective factors that were assessed in this community. The risk factors for Las Cruces include a proportion of the population that was below poverty level. As you can see, there was 20% Asians, 23% African Americans, 31.9% of Hispanics, and 12.5% of non-Hispanic whites that fell below poverty level. It is close to other major cities that have lower socioeconomic populations like El Paso, and is close to the border of Mexico, which increases the risk of Mexican drug trafficking. There is an increased drug use in New Mexico, and it continues to rise. In 2005, Survey of Risk and Resiliency Factors in New Mexico had that 39.7% who reported being in a physical fight. 15.6% of the students surveyed that the fight was taken place on school property. And in 2004, teen birth rates for this county became the 3rd highest of all 33 counties in New Mexico. The ratio was 81.2 per every 1,000 girls from the ages 15 through 19. That's about 637 in 1 year. So in order to assess the levels of risk factors and protective factors in the community, we also need to look at the protective factors. The ratio of school counselors to students is 1 counselor for every 155 students. There is a nationally recognized Renaissance program, which provides work sites and vocational career students the opportunities. The Drop Back In program is a mentorship program to work with students at risk for dropping out. And there are several different Head Start programs available in this community. Head Start provides a low-income family with school readiness information for both the children and the parents. The Parents as Teachers program, or PAT, helps at-risk families with information on increasing parent-child interaction and improving family well-being. These are just some of the programs that provide protective factors for the youth and families in this community, and they also increase resiliency factors. So let's translate this data into priorities. Based on the assessed data, there are identifiable clusters of risk factors that could provide synergistic response. There are high rates of poverty, a high level of drug trafficking, and there is a need to increase the protective factors in the families of poverty and provide youth with competency skills to address issues on their own when parents are not present or ill-equipped to do so. When examining the resources in the community to address priorities, there are a few resources assisting in addressing these priorities. American Red Cross, Big Brothers Big Sisters, Bridge Ministries, Casa de Peregrinos, Community Action Agency, Families and Youth AmeriCorps, and Girl Scouts of the Rio Grande, as well as several others. The target population for this prevention program are students living below the poverty line. They attend the San Andreas High School, which is an alternative learning center with an average enrollment of 155 students. There is one counselor, and it is at a school for students who are struggling with mainstream public schools. 80% of the students are Hispanic, and according to a Harvard study, 39% of Hispanics in Las Cruces live in below poverty level. All students at San Andres qualify for a free lunch program. The program model will be a challenge course, which includes activities for individuals that challenge them and provide them with alternative activities. The goal of this program is to provide students living in poverty with a greater level of self-efficacy. The strategies will include challenge activities that produce a profound sense of I exist and I can affect the world. The facilitators will question and can help youths clarify goals, problem solve differently, make stronger commitments, and accept personal responsibility for the successes and failures of their life. Group activities increase trust in others and an awareness that interdependence produces great levels of success for all. Higher levels of self-efficacy are developed by a completion of difficult tasks. This program will last one semester and the groups will meet weekly. There are booster sessions monthly. There are booster or follow-up sessions monthly for the next semester. And students who complete the year program qualify to be peer mentors and receive ROPES course facilitation certification. So how will this program be evaluated? The program will be evaluated using a logical model. The goals of this program will be to raise self-efficacy, increase coping strategies, develop personal resiliencies. The activities will include a small group ROPES course after school once a week and 4 Saturdays for high day elements. The target population will be grades 9 through 12 at San Andres Alternative School for both schools, teachers, and parents. The if-then goals will be if students living in poverty have a decreased level of self-efficacy, then they are set at a higher risk for drug use and other antisocial behavior. And if students complete the ROPES course, then self-efficacy rises, and if self-efficacy rises, then students will have more resiliency. If students have more resiliency, then they will be less likely to engage in destructive and self-destructive behavior. The short-term outcomes are that students will learn the norms and expectations of the course and adhere to them throughout the semester on and off the course. Behavioral issues in the school will decrease and parents will report improved behavior and attitude at home. The long-term outcomes will be a decrease in substance use by 4% after 3 years, an increase in graduation rate by 15%, and an increase in college or vocational education after graduation by 20%. So there you have it. This provides a good example of using the logical model in a prevention planning process. This will also become useful when you are completing your prevention plan project, as you will need to use these different steps in the logical model to evaluate your program.